Jack is a speaking circle success story, but I don't want this to be a testimonial piece. I want this to be educational for people who might be considering coming to Speaking Circle, want to know exactly what is it we do there, and also for certified Speaking Circle facilitators around the world who might have, this might give an insight into what it is you're giving your people. So Jack, I want to play, and I want you to watch on the computer about the last 4 minutes of a talk you gave a month ago for a forestry conference. And then we'll see what you see in the video and what you want to say about the path that led you to the kind of comfort that we're going to observe. So take a look at the video.
You know, New York, I have friends who are like, oh no, Jack, you've been 22 years in California, you've become one of those, Birkenstock wearing, granola munching, patchouli smelling, Crystal Healy feeling, hemp wearing, hemp eating, hemp smoking tree huggers. To which I reply, oh, no, it's much worse than that. I preside over the world's largest collection of naked tree hugging photographs. And proud of it. And the beauty of this work is, I'm just so thrilled to be among my people who get it, people who know how important trees are, to aggrandize trees, the Arbor Day Foundation slogan, is it not? Your mission, the mission in this room that created this gathering, is to plant, nurture, and inspire people, I believe, about trees. Close enough, right? Yeah, close enough, thank you. What is it exactly?
Celebrate. Plant, nurture, and
celebrate. Okay, is cherishing okay too, though? Okay, good. So we are aligned, and trees play an essential role not just ecologically, but also emotionally, spiritually, if I may. I am in California, right? We're allowed to acknowledge we're spiritual beings, as are trees, of course. So, how's this? 3 quick sentences, more or less. How to address climate change? It's easy. It's not a giant meteor hurling toward Earth that Bruce Willis and Arnold Schwarzenegger have to get together to stop. So it's insane that we've done this, I think, but that's the bad news. The good news is we've done this, so we can do something about it. Number 1, because we're at a forestry conference, of course, immediately, now, end deforestation, begin massive reforestation. That's where you folks come in, of course. Number 2, transition swiftly, immediately, from filthy fossil fuels of yesteryear to clean renewables, particularly solar and wind. It even creates jobs, good jobs, not bad jobs, but good jobs. Does that sound presidential? Don't talk politics, Jack, don't talk politics. And 3, of course, simple, 3 words, eat less meat. Eat less meat. That's because it's the major cause of deforestation. 90% of the Amazon rainforest's destruction is from clearing land and growing crops to feed animals to then feed to us, especially cattle. And oh, by the way, I think the stat is 70% of the Earth's land animals live in forests. And of course, we're cutting down forests globally at a rate of 1.3 acres per second. That's primarily to eat meat. Oh yeah, last good news. You don't have to quit meat. You can just transition out slowly. Instead of having 2 to 3 servings of meat per day, the average American diet, like my dear old dad who probably did 4 servings, 2 or 3 servings per week, and you cut your consumption 85%, and all the concomitant effects of a waste and destruction of land, of water, ocean pollution, deforestation. You don't even have to move off planet to the 5th brightest star in the sky, Vega, to become a vegan. Just eat less meat. So guys, I'm so thrilled to be here. I'm excited to be among you folks and wander around and see all the good work that's being done. Thank you so much for what you do. You are going to make the difference. You can make the difference. And I'm honored to be among you. Thank you so much.
Jack, what did you see?
I have a very busy, fertile, quick mind. I think, anyway, and I see and think lots about it. And I have my little angel devil battle, like I did when I first came to speaking circles of, wow, that's great, you're doing terrific, and then also the critic. The critic is the devil voice, of course, always seeing what's wrong, and I've learned to know that that critic is actually trying to help me by improving, but I know to temper that with seeing how far I've come, that I can stand up in front of a room full of people in a ballroom that would have been impossible, just impossible for me to approach without abject terror, to the point where I would have avoided that situation, well, before I came to you in speaking circles. So I'm really happy with that guy up there that I suppose is me, doing what he does pretty darn well.
When people go to speaking circles, what's actually happening with them that could create that kind of transformation? Not just an improvement.
I can talk about this in several different ways. For me, speaking circles, unlike some other ways to overcome public speaking, I think of it as working from the inside out, rather than how to hold myself or how to stand or what exactly to say even. It's a therapy. It's a therapy. It's actually becoming comfortable in my own skin with who I am. What flashes right now is, and I know to follow that lead, thanks to speaking circles, I have these insights. I have an insight, go with it. So I think it was like second or third grade in school, you first hear your own voice, in my era in the 60s, on a tape recorder. And like you said with us the first time we watched a video of ourselves at a speaking circle, take this home, guys, and watch it 3 times. Like, ooh, because there's initially that hesitation of seeing myself on videotape for the first time, because it's not going to be good, the critic says very loudly, as with that elementary school experience of hearing my voice on tape, like, ooh, is that what I sound like? Oh, God, that's weird. It doesn't sound like what I hear out of my own ears. Or, of course, we look different in the world on video and to the rest of the world. But in both cases, see it again, see it again, see it again, and you get to know that guy. I get to like that guy, which is me, I suppose. But now we're down the rabbit hole of philosophical thinking about who I am and ultimately becoming comfortable with my conceptions of myself and having people stare at me while I'm talking on a stage. And that's a process and a training and a reconditioning because of, well, as I say often, childhood traumas around public speaking, which is why I think most kids become human beings who are screwed up about public speaking in the first place.
So what happens to you at the speaking circles that allowed this transformation, that had an impact on trauma?
Well, you've very calculatedly and carefully, I guess, evolved over the years. I don't know, I've never actually asked you how you set out with speaking circles, but my experience of it when I came to it about 12 years ago, I think, and since is it's a place for my body, not just my mind, although it's my mind too, but to feel the difference speaking to a room of people who are not going to criticize me, even though I'm going to project my past history of being criticized onto these people. Oh, they're thinking terrible things about me. They're not. And the proof is they're going to say a few things that are going to be only positive regard, a couple words of positive regard. So you're teaching, as you say, I guess often, a group of listeners to listen someone into existence. And for me, from back to the therapy and the reconditioning, you set up an environment where in speaking circles, people they're going like this, like, oh, yeah, like phony. They're just listening. So I learned to trust that just listening is a safe space. And then afterwards, they do reinforce with a couple words, and they say positive things, which you ask us brilliantly to repeat. So we really are forced to hear a compliment. God forbid, because so few of us are conditioned and used to hearing compliments. So you're retraining us. We're having a traumatic experience, through our young lives and adult lives, public speaking, and then we come to your classes, and wow, I just came out of that experience, and it was positive. Oh my God, how can this be? I want to go back for that again. And it's retraining.
Before you came to speaking circle, you were still speaking. You were out there. You were on media. You were still doing, to other people's judgment, you were doing okay.
No, I wasn't. Correction for the record. I came to you in the first place in 2006. It's now 2018, 12 years ago. because I was making my photographs, and I would speak to small groups of people kind of in the woods where I felt comfortable, and I was under control of it, and there was distractions. It wasn't me standing on a stage where like, uh-oh, I'm booked for 30 minutes at a time now, and I got to, like a comedian, I got to do a set, which is what that was an example of we just saw at the forestry conference last month. But I could fool people. I could speak to, friends or a small group of people, or even I am doing photo shoots of people out in the woods among trees, and I could speak to those groups because it was kind of my own creation, and I could set the flow, I could ask people questions, I could divert and distract. It's different from being in a crucible setting, I would call it, on stage where no one's going to save me. I can't just say, oh, what about so-and-so? I'm stuck. And that's a mental construct, like I'm really under pressure here and I have to do well. So I came to you because the media I had a call from ABC TV News wanting to do an interview with me, and it was a chance to advance my career and advance the Tree Spirit Project, which is so important to me. And I didn't want to run away. Well, let's see. I did want to run away because I didn't know how to do it well, and I was freaking out. And of course, I knew this is a huge opportunity. If I pass this up, I'm not going to make it as an artist, and I'm not going to advance this work, which is so important. So I came running for help, and 2 or 3 different people had said, speaking circles, speaking circles, speaking circles, and I sought you out.
So how quickly after starting to come to circles was there a shift?
So for me, the shift was enough, I think, in just 2 sessions that I was very nervous about that little interview I would then do in front of a TV camera in an oak grove in Berkeley, but I was able to do it. And again, I can kind of guess universally about some themes about people are nervous and people are going to be judged, and those things people project on an audience because they've been true in the past. In my case, you gave me a couple specific tools which really helped. One is I learned how to do that. Just slow it down. Because I had 2 rules I didn't even know existed, which is I have to be quick and I have to be perfect. Work on that. Gee, Jack, why are you so nervous? Well, because I have to be quick and perfect. Well, I don't have to be quick, and I don't have to be perfect. In fact, giving a pause to my quick mind gives me time to assemble my thoughts and make sure to breathe, one of the things you emphasize. So just those, I guess, 3 things. Not perfect, not super fast, and make sure to breathe got me through that first interview that I came to you for.
As I hear you saying these wonderful points about what we do at Circles, it still sounds like a series of tips, techniques, hints, tricks, as they say. And I say that Speaking Circle is none of those things. It's more of a transformational space where change happens organically. What the hell am I talking about?
No, I do agree with that. Although, what you observed about me having my little tips and tricks, well, that helped me out immediately in 2 sessions. But I would also say that I think it was the very first time I did a circle with you that, and I love, whenever I public speak, people say, oh, you're so great at this. And I say, actually, I was terrified until I was in my 40s. And they're like, that can't be. What happened? And I say, speaking circles. And then I love doing this, which is asking an audience or friends or anybody, what are the 2 things you're asked to do at your first speaking circles? I mean, which nobody can possibly answer, although a couple people have gotten one of them. But it's not speak, or it's not, be good or this or that. It's make eye contact with another human being. Don't hide here or hide here. And then the other is breathe. You don't have to talk. So it's look at people who are looking at you and breathe. And when I came to that experientially for the very first time in my life in my very first circle with you, that's when like a thunderclap, like, oh my God, this isn't about tips and tricks, just as you're saying. It's about being seen. It's having other human beings see me, which puts me on the spot. Am I okay to be seen? Can I be out in the world, or should I just hide in a cave, in a closet, in my home and never come out? That's safe. But it actually trains me to be safe when people are looking at me on a stage in a ballroom with hundreds of people. And that is something that's in the body. That's emotion. And that comes from doing it and retraining and retraining. And I'd say rewriting the programming of past, especially in my case, specific traumas